Welcome back. This is Tom Stiles, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. And today we're going to look at USB testers, specifically power source testers. Or these devices can also take a look at what a particular USB device that you've got connected to either your computer or a power source, how much power is it drawing? So we're going to take a look at that today. And what prompted this, because I've done some reviews of some of these testers before, but I got a brand new one. The seller who sells on Amazon, one place they sell, DROK, I think that's how you pronounce it, sent me this new tester. And they carry a bunch of USB testers, USB power sources, little circuit cards for your Raspberry Pi or Arduino experiments, a whole array of little devices to help you with your hobbies and your experimenting. So I appreciate them sending me this. I really like this, kind of telling you what I think of it before I talk about it. But let's go into these. Now, here is a Duracell little power pack. I think I showed this in one show. It's only good for 1 amp. I think it's rated at 1.1 amps or 1100 milliamps. But it's nice and convenient. And I've been trying to test it to see, what kind of capacity it has. But I've really not had an easy way of doing that, but I do now. So let's look at these devices. Here's the first one I bought, and it and we got it upside down. It's called the Charger Doctor, and I didn't get this from this company. I got it from another Amazon company. This company sells one similar to this, but this one only has a single single displayed line, and so it has to alternate between showing you the voltage and the current. So that kind of drove me nuts, because it displays it for about 3 or 4 seconds, and then it goes to the other one. So if you're just seeing what the current is and it's showing voltage, you're going to have to wait a few seconds. That kind of drove me nuts. And see if I can illustrate that right now. I'll plug it in to this guy right here, this little power source. Get it oriented correctly, and I'll turn this on. So, see there it's showing, see, when I was getting ready to talk about it, there it's showing voltage, 4.97 volts, and there it shows amps, 0, because I don't have anything on the output as a load. So it's not showing that there's any current going from this supply to whatever device. So that's what you would use this for, and like I said, you can use it both ways, but this way I'm showing the output of the supply voltage wise and current wise. And when you hook up a load, you can see how much the voltage drop is. Now you have to keep into account there's going to be a little bit of voltage drop across the meter. So that's one. That's the first one I bought. And like I said, I kind of got annoyed by the fact that you have to wait. And I'll show you how long you have to wait. Okay, there's amps, voltage, amps. So it's not a big deal, but it's, life is short. I don't like to wait. I'm very impatient. So let's turn that one off. And like I say, I bought this, maybe a year ago. And then one like this came out, and it has 2 lines of display, voltage and amps. And so you plug it in the power source, and then you turn the power source on. That's what's nice about this particular power source. It has an on-off switch. I like that. And I turn it on, and now it shows both the voltage and the current draw at the same time. I really liked it. I really liked it. But it doesn't tell me anything about capacity of the device. So what I was having to do is I was having to manually test it by putting a load on this, like some device, cell phone, whatever, and writing down the time that it started charging, and then watched until the voltage dropped. So I kind of had to periodically check it. So didn't really give me a good indication of the capacity of the power device. So I was still unsatisfied. Well, let me turn this off. When this company contacted me and said, we'd like to give you something to review on your show. What would you like to review? And I says, I saw that you had this USB tester, and it did some functions that the ones I have right now don't do, and so I'd like to check out one of those. So they sent me one, and I appreciate that. Now this one, okay, number one, it has multiple cables. This device here has no cables and did not come with any cables. So you had to plug this directly, like I did before. You had to plug it directly in to the device under test. And sometimes it's a little inconvenient to plug this into your computer, like your laptop or something, to see what voltage it's supplying and how much current the device that you're charging, in this case, is drawing. So a little inconvenient, and I've had to use an adapter cable to hook this up because some of my USB outputs on my laptop are not easily accessible because I got it filled up with other things. So that's the drawback. This one did come with an integrated cable, so that was a big advantage. It's not real long though, so it was there but not quite there, and plus it came with no output cables. So this one from this company here comes with, and this is only one of many they have, and this is the one I chose for how I can test your devices, and I'll show you that in a few minutes, plus these cables. So they actually have, I got to write it up? Yeah, I got to write it up. They actually have this tester in a form similar to this, or better, it's similar to this, but this is on this side, not the side. So they have that, plus a few dollars more you can get the one with the cables, and this is your standard USB cable that you can put in your, hook up to your source, and then on this end is your adapter cables, and here's one that fits most of your cell phones and most of your other devices. This is kind of the standard, I think it's called either a mini or a micro USB connector. And then you have your standard full-size USB connector. So that's what caught my eye, and then I also saw that it had other information that it provides more than these two guys do. And I'm going to hook it up right now. Whoops, almost dropped it. Okay, and I'll turn this on, and it has a very small but easy to read, except my camera won't focus on it. Sorry about that. Isn't that a bummer? Oh, I know why, because dummy, I can only get within 3 feet of this camera, and so I need to zoom. Okay, so we're going to zoom in here, and we're going to try to find it again. And again, I've got this leopard skin background because my webcam is not that great, and so it has trouble with lighting. So you'll have to excuse the lighting on this and what you see. It is extremely easy to read. This is real high resolution display here. So it's the camera, it's not the actual device that's making it look a little blurry. Maybe if I get it down a little further and zoom in, I don't know. I don't know if I can fix anything with this crummy webcam I've got or not. But anyway, if you look closely, it's displaying the voltage, the current, the wattage, and the effective capacity. Now, how does that work? And it's in milliamp hours, which is what I was looking for. How can I check the capacity of a device? And this has that. And I think this is about, let me check again. I hate to guess at things. Let me look on Amazon. Just, like I say, you can get all these devices from Amazon. That's one place. And so let me check real quick so I don't make a mistake. Well, don't make another mistake. Okay, this is $18, $17.98 from Amazon. And like I say, they have lesser expensive ones that don't have the cables. So I went for the ones with the cables because that's one of the things I was looking for. So let's go on here. Let me go back so I can see my camera. So what I did initially is I hooked this up. Let me turn this off for 1 second. I hooked this up, and let me zoom back out. Zoom back out. Gosh, it takes me forever to do anything. It's really, old age really comes at a bad time for me. What I did is I hooked this to a computer to charge this device. And when you do that, you hook this up to the computer, and then you use this end. Actually, this adapter is not for this device, so I have to use the little, here it is. This is the, whoops, get out. Get down, oh boy, I got so many cables around here. This is the adapter that comes with this to charge it. So you plug this in, this funky little connector, and then you use this USB, standard USB, and hook this into there. And then, and I should have, oh, what happened to it? No, not going to worry about it. Oh, no, yeah, here it is, right here, okay. I was trying to find my little extension cable for my USB from my computer. So I plugged that into, this is the going to my computer, and I plug that in here, and that turns this display on, and it's upside down. Whoops. Okay. And now it's showing me that, let me zoom in, waste more time zooming than I do anything. It's showing me that my computer is supplying exactly 5 volts, and right now this device is being charged. See the green light? It's being charged, and it's being charged at 0.06 or 7 amps. Because it's almost fully charged, so it doesn't have to charge very much. And the power being used to charge this is 30 watts. And then over here, and it's not going to increment very fast because I'm only charging it at 0.06 amps. And let me see if I can zoom in so you might just have a chance to read it. But anyway, over here, it just rolled over 0.001 milliamps per hour. So that's how much capacity, theoretically, capacity, oh geez, that it's pumping in to this device. So yesterday, when I initially checked this device out, this was pretty much dead. And so I let it charge using this, and this is keeping track of the capacity it's putting into the device. And it said it was, when it was done, it said it was 1.1 milliamp hours, which is almost exactly what this is rated for. Now, that doesn't mean that that's what you're going to get out of it. That just says to charge it, it took 1.1 milliamp hours to fully charge this. Okay, so that's a really nice feature of this device that these other two devices don't have. So that's what I was looking for. So then you can, and let me disconnect it from the computer that was charging this device. Now I'll disconnect. I'm zoomed in so much you can't see anything I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to disconnect this charging cable. And now I can use this device, this guy right here, and hook it to the output of this little Duracell power pack. And what I can do is another device that this company sells and provide me with a review copy is this little load box. I call it box, little load device, which gives it's purely resistive except for the little LED. So it's not going to give you a constant load on this device, because as the power out of this device, voltage-wise, goes down, then the resistive load stays the same because it's purely resistive, and therefore the current draw changes. Okay, so what you do is you take this load and you plug it on the downside, I'll call it, the downside of this tester. And then now you have a load, and so we turn it on. Well, apparently this load, which is, it's got a, I had it on 2 amps. It has a 1 amp load and a 2 amp load. And here's a switch here to change that. And I had it on 2 amps. And apparently that was way too much for this little tiny power pack. So I put it on 1 amp, and let's see if it can drive that. We turn it back on. Yeah, there we go. I just put way too much load on that little power pack here. I put 2 amp load. So now what it's going to shows me that the voltage has dropped. Let me zoom back in. Again, it's kind of hard to read. It's showing me the voltage now out of that power pack has dropped down to 4.4 and dropping pretty fast. And I'm drawing 0.82, so not exactly 1 amp because the voltage has dropped down. And that's, like I say, this is purely a resistive load. It's not dynamic. If you want to really do precise testing, you'd have a dynamic load that would always be the same load, whatever. So, and it says it's drawing 3 watts. So that 1 amp load is drawing 3 watts. And it also is telling me, which you probably can't see very well, but I'll remind you that this display is extremely easy to read. So it's just my webcam. And it went off because this little power pack can't supply much voltage at that kind of current draw. It's not made for that. So anyway, it was showing the capacity of this little power pack. Now, let me zoom back out, turn this off. So one of the things besides the voltage and current and power and capacity that this device was showing you, it was showing you that this device, which is, like I say, it's only 1 amp hour or 1.1 amp hour or 1100 milliamps. And it's obvious that that really means it provides that power capacity under a small load, probably like less than 100 milliamps current draw. So putting this big fat 1 amp resistor on load on this thing just says it ain't gonna hack it. So what would be nice is if they also made some with smaller resistors. Now I could easily clip on in parallel some smaller resistors. Well, that's not going to help. I'd have to. I could buy another one of these. What I could do is buy another one of these with and take off the resistors, put smaller resistors, which would provide a much smaller load, so I could test things like this little guy who doesn't have much capacity. Matter of fact, I did a review of this, and I tried to charge my cell phone, and I can't tell you what my cell phone needed to charge, but it charged it, but it only increased the charge like maybe 10%. So it's got limited capacity. It's kind of like a real emergency thing where you got nothing else. You can use these little power packs. Now I have, and I've shown it to you before also, I've got this big guy here. Now, he is, it says on the back here, I think, this is 10,000 milliamp hours capacity compared to 1,000. So 10 times the amount. This guy could easily take this load here, this 1 amp load, and supply 1 amp. Matter of fact, I don't remember. Yeah, this says it will output 2 amps max. So I could put this on, say, a 1 amp, because I hate to overstress it, but I could put on a 1 amp load, use this tester to test the capacity of this device and see if it's 10,000 milliamps or 10 amps. Typically, these devices, unless you pay a lot of money for it, we're talking $100, the capacity is really overrated. So I would suspect, it says the capacity is 10 amp hours. You might get 3. So they're really overrated. And that's another reason I like this little tester. And now I've got a load for it, so I don't have to actually hook it to a device. Now, you don't have to. This load is just representing whatever real device you would put on this. Your cell phone, your shortwave radio. And that's kind of how I got into this whole line of things with battery packs and, testers.
One of those big cells. And I'll show you one in a second. Hold on. I can't even get up, so.
Okay, it uses these big 3.7 volt batteries, one of them. That's what the PL880 uses. So more and more shortwave radios and emergency radios are going with built-in chargers that are getting charged through a USB port similar to this little guy, similar to this guy. So that's why I'm interested in these battery packs, because if that, for instance, if I've gone on a trip, say for instance, and I took my PL880, and I'm, camping in the woods or something, so I can only have, and a battery dies on me. That's the only, in that radio, that's the only source of power besides external power. Is that, where'd it go? Where's that battery? That built-in, not built-in, but that battery that you can put in and out. You can have several of these. So without, and the only way to charge it is with a cable, a USB cable, and power source. So that's kind of how I got into it. So anyway, that's the quick review of this new device that I got from DROK, and I appreciate them sending me that for a review. And check out on Amazon. I haven't put any of these devices on my Amazon store yet. I just haven't had a chance to do that. I just got this yesterday. Actually, I got this part today, so that's why I was holding off doing the review. So you can go on the Amazon, check out all the circuits. I mean, they got tons and tons of circuits besides these USB testers. So that's the show for today. If you enjoyed this show, give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.